Hello everyone, welcome to this session. Our chapter is map reading and map interpretation. And we're still discussing about these topographical maps. Previously, we saw the introduction to these topographical maps. We saw the meaning of topographical maps, and we discussed these various methods on how these various relief features or just various these physical features they can be shown in these topographical maps. So today we'll move on to the other relief feature, that is we'll discuss the slopes. So we'll see how various slopes they can be shown in these topographical maps. uh, a slope, simply this is the inclination or slant of the land. So that inclination or just that kind of depression of a given land with certain kind of we can say a slant is what we call the slope. So that's the simple meaning of a slope. This inclination, it varies considerably, resulting in the various types of slopes. So there can be various variations of these inclinations. So that's why it results to the various types of the slopes. So we'll discuss these various types of the slopes and how they can be shown on the topographical map. So we'll start with the first one, that is the gentle slope. This is shown by these contours that are evenly spaced and drawn far apart. So you can simply see the gentle slopes in these topographical maps by seeing that the contours that I used to show these slopes are just evenly spaced, or they're just drawn far apart a little bit from each other. So in a way, you can just know that these kinds of contours just show the gentle slope. On a 1 to 50,000 topographical maps, the scale between the two successive contours is just more than 1.5 centimeter. And here's how the gentle slope might be shown in these maps. And you can see the first here in this section, you see the contours indicating the gentle slopes. As you can see, the contours are just drawn a little bit far apart from each other, and the cross section between A and B will be just shown in this way. So these contours represent or just they are there just to show that there is a slope of this way, the gentle slope from point A to point B. So, and the contours, they look like this, just a little bit far apart. So that's how you can see the gentle slopes on these maps. Moving on, let's see the steep slope. A steep slope, this is shown by contours that are drawn very close to one another, or just drawn very close together. The closer the contours are, the steeper the slope. So when the contours, when they get too much close, it means that the slope is very steep, and when they are just a little bit closer, or just they are a little bit far apart from each other, it means the slope is a little bit less steeper than the one that the contours are closer more than to one another. The space between any two successive contours is just less than 1.5 centimeter. And this is how you can see the steep slope. And here are the contours that indicate indicating the steep slope, not gentle slope, steep slope. So as you can see, the contours are just a little bit closely packed to one another, or just packed together. So the slope will look like this. So it is a little bit steeper. But if these contours would have been much closer to one another, it means that the slope would have been much steeper. So that's how the steep slopes are shown on the map. Now, when discussing about slopes, for example, you might see something like this, like kind of a mountain on the map. Now, the spot elevations are heights between the contour lines and are shown on the map as those with a value beside them. And so you can see there are these kinds of contours that they are there just to show this kind of a mountain here. Now you can see the contours in this side are a little bit closer than the ones that are in the other side. Now this way, if you just try to see how it looks like, eventually you will find that the other part where the contours are just a little bit far apart from each other will just show a gentle slope, and the ones which are closer packed to one another will just show a steep slope. And as you can see, these contours just are there just to show that there is this kind of a mountain there is. And when far apart, contour lines indicate a gentle slope, as I said, and when close together, the contour lines indicate a steep slope. Moving on, let's see the regular slope. This is just an even or a constant slope. So when we talk about irregular slope, we mean that is irregular. Or when we talk about regular slope, it's just an even or a constant slope. It is shown by contours that are evenly spaced, that is relative regular intervals. So there are regular intervals that are shown by these contours that are just evenly spaced from one another. So there you will have this regular slope. A regular slope can be a gentle or a steep slope. The surface of the land would look much smoother. Moving on, the irregular slope. Irregular slope, this is also known as an even slope. An even slope. It is indicated by these unevenly spaced contours. So you can see the difference between the irregular and the regular from these kinds of points. If two and also it can to be shown as a gentle or a steep slope. They indicate a rugged landscape. So as compared to the regular slope where they just show a smooth landscape, but the irregular slope will just show this rugged landscape. Let's see the convex slope. This is just kind of a slope that is indicated by the contours that are closely packed on the lower slope, indicating the steep slope, but they become more widely spaced on the upper sections of the land, indicating a gentle slope. So a convex slope, from its word here, you will see that this kind of a slope whereby there's kind of a depression inside, whereby at the ends there is a gentle slope. So that's how this point makes sense in a kind of a way that this kind of just a slope that indicates that there are those contours that are close packed on the lower slope, whereby they will just show this kind of a steep slope, and are more widely spaced on the upper section, whereby it will just show the gentle slope, making that a convex shape. The slope curves outwards like the surface of a convex lens, as you know the convex lens how it looks like. So this slope curves also in the same way. It is steeper towards the bottom and gentle towards the top, and it looks like this. So this is kind of a convex slope, as you can see. So this is the contours of how it looks like, and this is just a simple presentation of what these contours may show. Then there is concave slope. A concave slope, this is represented by widely spaced contours that indicating the gentle slopes on the lower sides, and just closely packed contours indicating the steep slopes on the upper part of the slope. So this is just the inverse of the convex lens. I mean the convex slope. On this type of slope, the land is steep on the higher ground and gentle on the lower ground. The slope curves inwards, just the opposite of the convex slope. So as I said, it's just the image, so it's also just as the opposite of the convex slope. And this is how it looks like. Uh, this is a concave slope. So that's all I have for this session of the clear man. We've seen various kinds of representation of these slopes using the various contours, how you can see them within the topographical map. So in our next session, we'll move on to the other relief features and how they can be shown on the topographical map. Hope that's all clear, and thank you.